everyone, it is Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Today I am playing Jade Druid on the Legend ladder, and this deck is courtesy of MrMuffinMan. What a great name. Now, I found this deck on Hearthstone. I was scrolling through the deck lists, I was looking for something interesting to play. I found this deck. Now, I've played Jade Druid before. Why am I playing it again, you ask? Why am I publishing a 1-hour video on Jade Druid? Well, there are two big reasons. Firstly, this deck runs Ysera Unleashed. Those of you that have followed my channel over the last couple of years will know that Ysera Unleashed is one of my favourite cards in all of Hearthstone. The second reason, and perhaps the most important reason of all, is that this deck has Wildheart Guff in it. This is a new hero card from the Alterac Valley expansion, and I've never played it before. This is my first time playing Wildheart Guff. I want to give it a try. I'm excited to do so. I want to see how it works. This will be a learning experience for me. Now, this is an off-meta deck, so you'll be asking the question, can it win? Is it effective? Well, there are some stats that you can look at. Now, I've taken the screenshot here from MrMuffinMan's Hearthstone page for the deck. These aren't my stats, these are his stats. He has 38 wins, 16 losses with the deck. That works out as an impressive 70% win rate. And he has faced a range of different opponents, and he would argue that this deck is a very strong deck in the current meta. And I'm just going to be quoting from his Hearthstone page. Jade Druid is an underplayed archetype that counters the strongest metagame strategies right now, and having a positive win rate against Pirate Warrior and almost 100% win rate against Odd Quest Hunter. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can beat Pirate Warrior and Odd Hunter with this deck, then you know that this deck is special. Because despite Blizzard having released an expansion a couple of weeks ago, it turns out that Pirate Warrior and Odd Hunter are still incredibly popular decks. They're still the top two premier tier 1 meta decks that are out there, and they really haven't undergone much in the way of change, despite a new expansion having been released. And I find that a lot of my games are focused around those two meta decks at the moment, and I find that quite frustrating. So if you can play a deck like this that can beat those decks, then you're in for a real treat, right? So that's my recommendation based on MrMuffinMan's guidance. Give this deck a try if you already have the cards, and see how it fares against the top meta decks at the moment. And maybe report back, tell me how you fared in the comments section below. Now, one thing that's very impressive about MrMuffinMan is that on the Hearthstone page for his deck, he has taken the time to respond in great depth to people's questions. And you know, there are people asking advice, for example, on Malfurion and Guff. What situations do you use those two heroes in? Because they're both in this deck. And he's got into great depth explaining the different situations, scenarios for using those two hero cards, the differences between them. Absolutely fantastic. He goes into justifications on why cards like Jade Blossom are not included in this deck, which has always been a staple part of Jade Druid. He argues that Jade Blossom is just too low impact when compared to Overgrowth, and gives a good reasoning as to why. So if you do want some further guidance on playing the deck, do read the comments section on the Hearthstone page. I wish I'd read it before I started playing this deck, honestly. But yes, this just looks like such a fun deck to play. Let's get right into it. Let's look at our first game. And we're going up against another Druid here. So what do we keep? We get rid of Ysera, far too expensive. I'm keeping everything else. I'm going to anticipate a bit of a slow game for both of us, and so I'm keeping Mutanus. Because if there's, I don't know, some kind of combo in play, or some kind of endgame strategy with Togwaggle or Malagos, anything of that nature, maybe my Mutanus can eat whatever it is they plan to play later on, but what the hell is that? Gangster. What is that? I've not seen that card played before. Well, it is clear we are not facing a meta deck, and that's very exciting. But look at my rank. 4,341. That is what happens when you just play nothing but off meta decks and lose lots and lots of games. Because that's my attitude when it comes to the Legend ladder. I really don't care about my rank. And I am happy to just lose as many games as I need to lose, as long as I'm having fun playing fun decks. That's all that matters for me, and what an absolutely fascinating game so far. They are playing cards that I've never seen before. Wow. New cards. That's a great thing. An absolutely great thing. Okay, what do we go for here? I was tempted by the Overgrowth, potentially for the ramp. But Oakh's Summons could get me the Vargoth on board, which in turn could get me the Injured Marauder. Oh wow, going all in with these beasts here, very exciting. Oh damn it, there's Vargoth. Oh dear. It's as if the game can sense what you're thinking, right? And it just screws you over. Oh dear. Anyway, what do we do here? I actually don't know. If in doubt, play Oakh's Summons and put something big on the board. There we go, that's a 5/10. Now, do we kill the 4/4? I think we do. So that turn worked out well for us here. Utilised all of our mana, killed a minion, it summoned a 2/2, that's fine. And we got a big taunt on the board. They've got to work their way through it. Now what is really exciting about this game is that I have no idea what else to expect, right? Pathmaker. I've not seen that card played before. This is great stuff. All new, all exciting, and this to me is the essence of what Hearthstone should be. As opposed to facing the same decks over and over and over and over and over again. Pirate Warrior, Odd Hunter. Facing an opponent like this is just incredibly fun and refreshing. And it gets you thinking. Because you don't know what's coming, you're kept on your toes, right? If this was Pirate Warrior or Odd Hunter, you pretty much know the order of what's coming, you have a rough idea of when they're going to complete their quest line by. Whereas in this game, I have no idea what's coming. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put 2 poisonous spiders on the board. Because the plan is that they would kill 2 out of 3 of these minions on the board. I think that's reasonable. Now my opponent may have a spell in hand to kill the spiders. But if they do, they do. If they don't, then the play has paid off well for us. In terms of removing 2 threats from the board. And if they don't have a spell to kill the spiders, they've got to decide, okay, do we ignore the spiders, or do we trade 2 of these minions in?
Bound to come this way.
So we make our opponent think too. Looks like they don't have a spell to deal with them. This is pretty good for us then. Oh dear, they've got Rush. Okay. So this is one spider dealt with. They still have to make the choice. What about the second spider? Do they trade a minion in, or do they ignore it? Let's see what decision they make here. Oh, they're trading. Okay, smart choice. Protect your highest attack minions there that were left on the board. Alright, there's got to be something good in that hand to eat. What are we eating? Alright. It's fine. Oh, wait. Okay, I'd completely forgotten what those cards do. They attack a minion that I play on the board. Interesting. And our opponent plays Wildheart Guff. Huh. Interesting. So they've got to Guff before us. Okay. So they're starting to build up that board again. I'd quite like to play Ysera here, but we're 1 mana off. That's annoying. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Behold Man. And I'm going to gain some armor here. You're probably asking why I'm not drawing cards. Well, I think the Behold Man is going to draw us cards now on the second round. Yep. Okay, look. Drew 2 cards. Now, if we'd drawn 2 cards in the initial stage, we would be overdrawing ourselves on the following turn. We'd be milling a card of our own. So, yeah. I had a feeling that Vargoth would draw cards for me. So that's why I went for the armor. That's very interesting. That 4-2 just killed Vargoth. Huh. Oh well.
Someone's bound to come this way.
Oh dear. This board is filling up quite significantly here. So next turn, what do I do? Ysera? Spreading Plague? Poison Seeds? There's various options here. Ultimately, what am I looking to do? I am looking to outlast my opponent, right? They're a board-centric deck. I am looking to outlast them, to withstand the waves of minions that they play turn after turn after turn, and then get to a point where either Ysera gets played and her dragons come onto the board and win the game for me, or the Jade Idols get shuffled and the big green men win me the game. Now, I've found that with Jade Druid in the past, big green men are often not necessary. I've found that the game is often won or lost before you get a chance to summon big green men. It'll be interesting to see how this game goes then. Oh wow. Huh. Interesting. This really is a beast-centric deck. And how incredibly entertaining this is. Just watching this, actually. Watching my opponent make their plays. And I guess, yes, with Guff, you do have the decisions to make each turn. Do you draw a card? Or do you ramp up? I think that's a great hero power. If only for the card draw, I think it's fantastic. I need to find more decks where I can play Guff effectively. Just looks like such a fun hero. Okay, this is quite the board that we're dealing with here. I have Poison Seeds Spreading Plague combo in hand as well. It is worth noting that. Question is, Could I get away with playing Ysera this turn? I don't know. I'm afraid of something like Savage Roar. If in doubt, draw a card. Let's see what we get. That's no good. Okay, I'm just gonna neutralise the board here. I mean, it's still quite a substantial board, right?
Death is eternal. My turn is not.
I think we're still if they had Savage Roar, I think we'd still be dead. But I think we've taken a little bit of attack power off the board, and I think that was worth doing. Now they've traded, which is good for me. That's less damage going to my face. Oh dear lord, what the hell is that? That deals 8 damage on Death Rattle. Oh dear, oh dear. Wait, why would you buff the health on that? Surely you want that to die quicker. Humongous Owl, that minion. Interesting. Okay. So, once again, we put a roadblock in the way. I'll have to work hard to get through this. We also have the second copy of Poison Seeds still in the deck. So if need be, we can still neutralise a big board. But we do need to draw it though. Question is, how many of our scarabs are gonna survive? Your next spell, cast twice. What are we casting here? Oh, more health on the owl. Okay, again, I'm surprised. I thought you'd want to get that killed off quickly. Or maybe just the 8 attack power from the minion itself is worth protecting. So if they could swing 2 or 3 times with that onto my face, that's more powerful than just the death rattle alone. Well, our scarabs are still standing. That's pretty good for us. And I feel confident at this point in terms of playing Ysera. Problem is, you know, we've got 4 scarabs on the board. If we were to draw a load of dream cards or dream portals next turn, there wouldn't be space on the board for more than 2 dragons. Oh my goodness, the bounty hunter kills Ysera. Ysera met the same fate as our Vargoth. What a way to go. The mighty Ysera taken down in such a manner. Oh dear. Oh well. All my scarabs are gone. Can the dream portals save us though? Maybe we draw 7 dream portals in a row. And they're all dragons with taunts. Wouldn't that be the dream?
Masterful.
Our opponent has gone to sleep. No, no. Oh no. Oh god. They play cube in the deck. Oh jeez. That is scary as hell. Okay. If in doubt, go fishing for something. Dream portal? Do I just take that? That's a lot of damage on the board. I'm going to take the gloop here. I mean, I couldn't play the dream portal on this turn. So I'm going to play the gloop. I'm going to do damage to the board. I'm going to gain some mana back. 6 mana. Okay, I should have calculated this before making the play, because now I actually don't know how to follow up. Yeah. Gaining armor just seems incredibly sensible here. And remove the Wind Fury. Alright. Okay. Now, that cube is very dangerous because of what's in it. But thankfully, this dragon on the board is relatively harmless. So the cube can't be killed off by trading. And that is a very good thing at this point in the game. The last thing I want is 2 humongous owls coming out onto the board at this point, because I feel ill-equipped to deal with them. Oh, bloody hell. Right, well, our opponent decided to put the owls on the board. No trading required. You know, it's at times like this that I wish I had more mana available. That maybe if I'd played Guff a lot sooner, I'd have more mana available and then I could overflow and still do things after overflowing. You know, I'd draw into Poison Seeds, so I could, if I had more mana because of Guff, I could overflow, play Poison Seeds, maybe fit something else in. But I do have the Gloop available to me, so we can get more mana that way, if needed. What do I do here?
A tangled web.
Guff gets me some armor gain, so I want to use Malfurion's armor as well and stack that up with Guff's armor. More armor? Do we need it now? Maybe we look to see what else we can get. Health is good. Feel that's important until I can stabilize. This will have to do for now. Didn't seem like the most powerful of plays, but the Dream Portals coming onto the board I think are helpful. I suspect an owl is going to trade into Alexstrasza, which is fine. We take 8 from the Death Rattle, but that removes 8 attack from the board. There we go. Okay, I feel better now with 1 less owl on the board. The question is, will they trade the other owl into my 5/5 dragon? Meanwhile, oh, they go face. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out what to do with this Guff hero power as we head into our next turn. They're nearly out of resources in their deck, so we've just got to survive a little bit longer. If in doubt, look for some options. Astral Communion! Oh dear lord, that brings back memories. Bog Beam. Okay, why not? Because we can remove the owl. Yes, we are going to take 8 now on the Death Rattle, but we remove 8 from the board. Armor gain does seem sensible here. And healing too. I'm just thinking about survival. And I possibly should have spent a bit longer thinking that turn through, like, would I have benefited from playing the Guff hero power, either ramping or drawing a card there? Gosh, they're still going with this board. Oh. What do they trade here? The tutus or the cube? I'm surprised that we've not seen anything like a Savage Roar at this point in the game. Maybe it is one of the cards in their hand or one of the remaining cards in the deck. I had forgotten that the cube had eaten another cube. Ugh, that is a lot of attack power on their side of the board. What do we get? Oh, that's a bit rubbish. That's a little bit better, but still rubbish. Well, that can get taunt. So that is actually something. Alright. It looks like our strategy is now going to revolve around big green men. But let's see if we can get another portal down, and what do we get? Absolutely useless. Okay, this extra mana is really coming in handy here from Guff. That healing is so lovely. Poison seeds, finally. I'll just keep shuffling, right? Okay. And a bit of summoning too. Look! A 1/1 golem! Isn't that great? Oh dear. Anyway. How much attack power's on board? Not enough to kill us, by the looks of things. Unless there's a Savage Roar or some other kind of buff. That taunt is helpful. It's absorbing 2 hits here. Now the question is, will they trade into my minions or will they just go face? They're trading. Interesting. It's a tough decision to make at this point in the game. Because you look at my health total and there'd definitely be a temptation to push all that damage face. In the hopes that I don't have any more big defensive measures available to me. Right, they're going to leave the 3/7 up. What can we do with that? And what else are they going to commit from that hand with 20 mana?
Get your ugly mug out of my face.
Oh
Get
god.
your ugly mug out of my face.
Alright. Well, at least those taunts only have 2 attack. I mean, that's something. So I must remember, I have 14 mana to play with. It's quite disconcerting to think about. In the sense that you're not used to thinking about it, right? Okay, so. Played the gloop. Gonna gain some more mana. We're going to shuffle. And then we're going to draw some Jade Idols. Okay, that's worked out pretty well. I wish I had a little bit more mana to play with, so I could actually play some Jade Golems onto this board. This looks like the last hurrah for our opponents. These 6 Treants on the board, all going face. Because now our opponent knows what's coming, right? It's going to come down to the Treants versus the big green men. So here we go. Big green men. How many big green men is going to be enough to seal out this game for us? I love this hero power. Look at it. Shuffle and draw. This is great. So, what is the final card in their hand? Is it Savage Roar? Is it some kind of defensive tool? What is it? Why have they held it back? Oh, they're going face! What does that mean? Are we dead? And the last card is... Oh no, don't concede! I want to see the last card! Oh wow, what a game. Just need a moment to decompress. Alright. So, Warlock time. Now, this is surely going to be different to that last game. In that last game, we took on what could only be described as what? A Beast Druid? So heavily off meta. Whereas against the Even Lock here, we're now facing a meta deck. And not only is it a meta deck, it's a pretty good meta deck, right? I'm kind of happy to see Mutanus here, because if we can ramp up, then maybe we can play Mutanus a bit earlier and eat something good. On that last turn, I wasn't sure about the Hero Power or the Nature Studies. The Hero Power used up all of our mana, but then if I'd played Nature Studies, I could play Overgrowth on turn 3. I don't know. I think I've messed up my ordering a little bit here. Mulch! Well, that's fantastic. That's really, really good. Because I suspect that there's going to be a giant coming down very shortly. So we can just mulch it away. Alternatively, we have Overgrowth next turn. But it'll be awkward at 3 mana and I'll be, you know, at 4. Okay, we have to mulch this. And just because I want to use up all of my mana here efficiently, I'm choosing to Hero Power as opposed to playing Nature Studies. Oh, I can't help but feel that I should have played this Overgrowth 2 turns ago. And that's another giant. That's pretty scary. You know what I'm fearing? I'm fearing Battle Master. Right, because they made Battle Master cost 6 mana. Was that a nerf that they hit it with? Of course, that makes it playable in Even Lock. Now, Guff is a really interesting pickup for us now, because it's an early pickup, it's an early play, and we now will have to be making these choices on the following turns, whether we play the Hero Power at all, and if we do play the Hero Power, are we ramping, or are we drawing a card? 2 giants on the board. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. And a Weblord. So, Even Lock with tax cards. Well, what do we do here? Spreading Plague to try and stop the giants because I'm scared of Battle Master? Or Poison Seeds, perhaps? Now I'm going to Plague, and I'm going to ramp. The reason I'm doing this is I want more value for the Poison Seeds. I'm being a bit greedy here. I want more committed to the board. I want a Battle Master on that board. Oh look! Ask and you shall receive! There it is. But thankfully these scarabs are going to absorb a good chunk of the damage. That's pretty cool. We only take 9 to the face. I'm happy with that. I really am. Draw a card. Not what I wanted to draw. Okay, just gonna keep ramping. Don't know if that's correct. Should I be drawing cards here rather than ramping? Oh, really?
Then strike harder.
On the tree ends? Are you kidding? Really? I guess they're just trying to look to get in all the damage they can. But that is their second Battle Master. Did they really want to commit that to this board? Ah, more taxation from the Weblord. Look at my poor Mutanus, costing 9. Oh dear. Anyway, we need to kill that. So we're just going to do what we need to do here. Getting rid of most of the board. Leaving this Weblord up. Now again, I'm being somewhat indecisive. I don't know what to do. Do a ramp? Do I draw a card? I'm just hoping this ramp is going to come in handy for me later in the game. Let's say on an overflow turn where, you know, I can spend 7 mana, draw a load of cards, and then I have enough mana left over to play a lot of those cards. That's the plan. Oh no! Oh no! I actually would have preferred if they'd pulled Ysera or the Marauder, just because I want Mutanus to eat something big from the hand. Although now that I think about it, I kind of like having Ysera's Dream Portals. We could get some big dragons, which can be some big threats, that could potentially just kill our opponent. They're at 15 health, right? If we do hit a load of Dream Portals, get a load of big dragons, how do they deal with that? Anyway, for now, I think that we need to have a little bit of a defensive play, a bit of a defensive barrier. I'm going to go with the Scarabs here. I'm going to kill the highest attack minion. Hopefully this means that they can't get through the Scarabs easily. It's going to buy me a little bit more time. And as we continue to ramp up, this is going to open more doors and more options for us in terms of what we can do with Overflow, what we can do with our other cards in hand. Oh, there's a giant. Hello. This feels like a war of attrition. We just keep going back and forth, the two of us. And I'm impressed so far with this deck's ability to keep up with the even lock. Especially if you look at what's been played, look at their deck list on the left hand side, look at the big things that have been played, 2 Battle Masters, multiple Giants. Alright, gain some armour. Now we're going to draw, see what we get. Okay, we've still got 3 mana left over to play with. The only sensible thing I can do is play a Spellstone. And we can actually kill the Weblord here. This is good, I like this. That Weblord is impacting 2 of the cards in my hand, the Marauder and the Ysera. Oh, bloody hell. Really? You got that from Raised Dead? Really? they positioned the Battle Master like that on the side, on the right side? Why not in the middle of the two minions? Oh, okay, well... Okay, it is now in the middle of two minions. Fine. Well, we need to wipe this board. We cannot allow a giant and a Battle Master to be sitting there. So I guess, if there was ever a good time, now would be it. My dream is your nightmare. Ysera Unleashed, do your thing. Surely we can't die with these measly treants on the board. Oh, are you kidding me again? Really? They've now played 4 Battle Masters in this game.
Old dogs do learn new tricks.
Surely we'd had some treants die earlier. I'm just surprised that they didn't get treants from Raised Dead. From before. Ah, okay. Alright, well... Spreading Plague needs to protect us. I'm not tapping. I'm not tapping. It's far too scary to do that. Having all of this mana to play with, it's actually making it harder to think through my turns. It's just more mana than what I'm used to working with. I think with 10 mana, my brain can kind of calculate with the cards that I've got. Yeah, you got fewer options in terms of what you can do with 10 mana. Whereas when you've got, 18 mana, you now need to think about utilising 18 mana's worth of cards and spells. That's quite challenging, actually. Also interesting to note that with Malfurion in play, we've overwritten the Guff hero power. So our hero power is now the armor or attack. So we've lost the ability to draw a card or to ramp up. I think you could see what's coming here. Our opponent doing a bit of calculation of their own. Yep. Here's the Defile. Doesn't clear the board though. Very good. And that is the second Grizzle Wizard. How fascinating. Clearly our opponent has had encounters with Odd Hunter, right? I assume that's why the Grizzled Wizard is in play. Alright. You see, here we can actually play a Dream Portal and have mana left over to work with. It's pretty cool. And look at the board. We have got the original Ysera. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And now I don't know what to do. Trading seems sensible. What do I do with 4 mana? Play another Taunt? Sure. I mean, I could have used Branching Paths to draw more cards. Maybe get another 2 dragons on the board. There were options on that turn, but in the end, we won. That's all that matters. Okay, here we go. It is time for a hunter. And this is going to be the real test for the deck, right? We started off facing a Beast Druid of all things, like the ultimate off-meta deck. We then sequenced into Evenlock, which is a top meta deck. We beat that. And now it's time for the ultimate meta deck, I guess. Odd Hunter. For a moment I was just hoping and praying that it would be something else. You know, Secrets Hunter, Reno Hunter. Even Hunter? I'd take that. But oh no. At Legend rank 4,322, we've got Odd Hunter. Oh boy. And what is an Odd Hunter doing at rank 4,322, you ask? I mean, surely playing Odd Hunter, this opponent would be storming through the ranks. You know, they should be top 100, top 200. What are they doing at rank 4,322? What are they doing at the low legend ranks with the likes of me playing my off-meta decks and losing a lot? So, the idea is to gain armor, if I am not mistaken. Gain armor and survive. That's what we need to do. And hopefully, Mutanus can eat the questline reward. I mean, if that happens, we just win the game, right? If that doesn't happen, and they get to play Tavish, then things are going to get more interesting. Can we gain enough armor to outlast them? That's going to be the question. What I'm looking at in my hand now is Vargoth and Ferocious Howl. However, we're not going to do that. I want to save Vargoth for turn 8 with Oaken Summons. Now that's less armor gain, right? Vargoth and Ferocious Howl comboed is more armor gain than Vargoth and Oaken Summons. But the thing about Vargoth and Oaken Summons is that it will put 2 Marauders on the board. And I think that's going to be a pretty sweet play for us. It's actually going to put some pressure on the board and cause the Odd Hunter to think for a bit. That's my prediction. Let's see what happens. Oh god, baited arrow. That was unexpected. Okay, you're killing your own minions for me. Thank you. The idea was to put 2 Marauders on the board, which would contest the Leper Gnomes. But there's a 5/5 Devil Saw. Behold! Alright, we were lucky enough not to draw either of these Marauders into our hand earlier. So now we've managed to get them out of our deck. That's thinned our deck down a little bit too, which is nice. What will the opponent invest now in order to clear this board? Because surely you cannot leave Vargoth alive on this board. If I could draw another Oaken Summons or draw another Branching Paths, I'd be quite happy. They've actually left Vargoth alive. They've not completed their quest line. Damn it. Because that would have been perfect for Mutanus. Anyway, Grand Archivist. Well, now that could be dangerous if it casts Overflow and I overdraw. So we're going to go with the Foe Reaper. I'm not too keen on this. Behold! Into a penguin. Fantastic. The Foe Reaper, with its 69 worth of stats. What is that going to do against Tavish then? Because Tavish is coming, right? Complete the quest line, 5 mana left. Yeah, makes sense. Wait, Vargoth? Still on the board? But I don't really have a spell that I can use efficiently with it. No Branching Paths, no second Oaken Summons. Could Spreading Plague? But that's not great. So what do I do here?
Scry more.
Do we trade the Foe Reaper in? Or do we just go face with it? I think we're going to kill the Tavish. Now do I want to hero power and tank that? I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to take 7 to the face. So here's what I'm going to do instead. We're going to play the Guff. But do we want to ramp or do we want to draw? I like draw here because that is what I'm looking for. Armor gain. I love the voice emotes. Behold, into kill my own minion. Great. Could have killed the penguin, Vargoth. You could have killed the penguin. I guess penguins are too cute to kill, right? Are you ignoring the Vargoth here? No, you're not. Okay. Damn. Our opponent is smart. Smarter than me, it seems. But this is a lot of armor to get through. Have we done it? Have we outlasted the Odd Hunter with armor gain? Huh.
This must be the way.
I was looking for branching paths. That's not branching paths. None of these are any good. Wait. Draw your lowest card or highest card? Nah. Mark of Yashraj. Oh, we can actually buff the Hound. Imagine that. Well, my dream is your nightmare. I guess if we were ever playing Ysera Unleashed, now is the time. Pretty amazing, by the way, that we've been able to play Ysera Unleashed against an Odd Hunter. You'd think it'd just be way too slow. But we've actually managed to play it. And now they're on a clock. Because forget the big green men. That's not what they need to worry about. It's Ysera's dragons that they need to care about. Because if we can get a few big dragons onto the board over a couple of turns, that could just spell lethal for the opponent. I've just realised Scarabs means card draw, which means portal, because the Scarabs are a beast. Easy to forget that. So here come the dragons, just 2 of them. Here comes armor. And earthen scales, why not? I'm not thinking this through, I'm just pressing buttons. But it's working out pretty well, because there's some more armor. Alright. I think we win. I think we win. What a great feeling. Just taking the Odd Hunter to the limit. I mean, 23 health plus 16 armor at this late stage in the game. I don't know how many turns have gone by. But the fact that we're still alive, with armor, and substantial health, and a series of threats on the board that they can't deal with. This is incredible. Huh, misdirection. Oh, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Okay, I think this is it, right? They've got to concede. What is that? Bear trap. Whatever. Alright, Guff has done his job. We're going to get serious now with Malfurion. You know, Guff seems like such a happy-go-lucky character. Whereas Malfurion seems a little bit more angry, serious. There we go. Fantastic. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, MrMuffinMan's Jade Druid with Guff and Ysera Unleashed. What a fantastic deck. If you wanted proof or evidence that this deck can beat Odd Hunter, you saw it in that last game. If you want proof and evidence that this deck can beat Evenlock, you saw it in the game before last. And if you want evidence that this deck can beat other off-meta decks, then you saw it in the first game of this video when we took on that really interesting Beast Druid deck. We didn't know what to expect, but we persevered, we hung in there, and we won the game. So, this deck has fantastic survivability in it. You saw it with the armor gain against the Odd Hunter. We've got really good board clear options in terms of poison seeds, and we can ramp up. We've got double overgrowth and we've got Guff for that too, and we can gain mana unexpectedly when we need it with Floop's glorious gloop. That's been pretty cool with poison seeds. So all in all, a very versatile deck, very much a fun deck to play. I was really happy that we had one game where the big green men actually made an appearance. That was in the first game of the video against the Beast Druid. But beyond that, you're finding that the big green men are not really needed a lot of the time. The game is often decided before you get a chance to play them. As you've seen, Ysera's dragons can really be the winning play in certain games. Particularly if you get some big dragons on the board that the opponent just can't deal with. And also note the other attributes of some of these dragons. Getting a lifesteal dragon, for example, when you really need a bit of health gained back, is pretty cool. Dragons with taunt, when you really need to protect your face. That's also awesome. So I do love the unexpected utility that these dragons can provide when they get summoned onto the board. So I have looked at this deck in a somewhat superficial manner. If you want a more detailed insight into the deck, a more careful consideration of how to play the deck and the role that various cards play in this deck, do check out the Hearthstone guide where MrMuffinMan goes into quite some depth in regards to the deck. Scroll down, read the comments section. You saw me have quite a bit of indecision throughout the footage in this video. No doubt I've probably misplayed a bit. No doubt I've probably made some poor decisions, particularly when you've got a hand full of cards and so much mana to utilise. You've then got a lot of decisions to make, and I think that can become quite challenging. So yes, I do wish I'd actually read the MrMuffinMan guide and comments section on Hearthstone in a bit more depth before I'd started playing the deck, but it is there for you to read if you want to look at this in greater detail. Alternatively, the other nice thing about this deck is you can do what I've done. You can just play the deck superficially without having too much knowledge about things, and you could still have a lot of fun with the deck. Now, before we wrap things up, just a quick note about the win rate. At the start of the video, I had referenced MrMuffinMan's 70% win rate with the deck, 38 wins, 16 losses, and I had referenced the guidance provided by MrMuffinMan indicating how this is an incredibly strong deck in the current meta. It does well against Pirate Warrior and Odd Hunter. I would just like to put out a bit of a health warning, as I often do with off-meta decks. Please do not go away, play this deck, lose 10 games in a row, then come back and tell me that it's my fault that you've lost 10 games in a row because you crafted cards for this deck. If you are going to craft any new cards for this deck, please be absolutely sure that you want to craft those cards, firstly, and secondly, please ensure that the playstyle of this deck is for you. You've got to enjoy the very specific playstyle of the deck, which is long, grindy games. If you're not going to enjoy that, then please don't craft new cards for this deck. And thirdly, You do need a little bit of luck with off-meta decks. You've got to draw the right cards at the right times. Off-meta decks are not always very consistent compared to the tier 1 meta decks, like Pirate Warrior, Odd Hunter. They'll always draw consistently whatever it is they need to draw, so keep that in mind too. And finally, if you are thinking of crafting the legendaries that are in this deck, I'm just going to quote from MrMuffinMan in the comments section on the Hearthstone page. He says that it would be a waste to spend 1600 dust on a card like Wildheart Guff and then end up not playing Druid a week after crafting it. So yes, if you're going to commit to crafting the more expensive cards in the deck, you'll probably want to play them for a while to come, so ensure that, going back to my earlier point, that the playstyle of this deck is for you. So, thank you very much for joining me everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun, but until next time, please stay safe, please look after yourselves, and as always, please be good to one another.